Hey, it's Ayla, and this is the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. You know how we, as mompreneurs, put everything and everyone before ourselves. Yeah, been there, done that. But here's the truth. In fact, we are the beating hearts of our families and businesses. And if we are running on fumes, everything else crumbles. I don't want to put your husband in a corner here, but women rule the world, so yeah. So that's why today I am pulling back the curtain on my own health journey. Because, spoiler alert, it hasn't been a straight line. I have been battling weight struggles for a long time. Same goes with stress. And I've been discovering what actually works for me. And after I've learned that, I've made some big shifts that are finally bringing me back to alignment with my health. So, if you've ever felt like prioritizing your health is just another thing on your to do list, something that you really want, something that you think you need, but just never get around to it, this episode might just change your perspective on it. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Ayla, and for over a decade, I've been dedicated to helping entrepreneurs thrive. Welcome to the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. Here, we focus on personal growth so your business can grow alongside you. Discover how to optimize your business, elevate your mindset, and truly feel and act like a CEO. This is more than just business. It's about transforming your entire entrepreneurial journey. Join me on this path to unlock your fullest potential. Hey babe, welcome back to the podcast. I am here, I'm back, I have my voice back, which is nice because the last few recordings that I did, I sounded sexy, but I like to have my normal voice back again. While thinking about today's subject for the podcast, I thought about my health journey. And this is a business podcast. Is it a business podcast? I don't know. Maybe it's more of a mompreneur lifestyle podcast. And so health would fit in to that umbrella. Umbrella, are we calling it? The reason I wanted to talk to you about health today is because it's so very important for mompreneurs. We are the beating heart, the top athletes of our families, of our businesses. And it's a mistake I see many of my clients make very frequently, is that they want to be healthier, and even though they want it, it just dangles somewhere very low on the priority list because there's always something that's more urgent to do. Then, boom, you just skip your workout and it's not done. And then the second time you were going to go that week, you're like, I missed the first time already anyway, so never mind. It is just always dangling there and not getting the priority it should need. Because I think that when we as mompreneurs are the healthiest as we can be, we've got so much more potential to tap into. When your body feels good, your mind automatically feels better as well. This is why I started on a renewed health journey with renewed energy. Because for 2025, I've set 2 areas of my life that I want to improve. You can improve it all at once. I mean, do I want to improve my home as well? Yes. If you are watching this on camera, you can see the wallpaper behind me is peeling from the walls. And I don't like it. I would love to renovate my bureau office. Am I putting it on my priority list? Absolutely not. This year is all about growing my business and improving my health. And my health so far has been a journey because I think health is a journey. It's not some point in time or point in body that you can achieve and then you can go, okay, I'm healthy now, I've done it, boom. No, I think health's a journey, especially for women who've got their hormones and then there's pregnancies messing with those hormones. And then when you think you've had it all, you're turning 39 and perimenopause is just knocking on your door. We have the 28-day roughly cycle that we're going through each month, as opposed to men who are just going through their 24-hour cycle, basically being very steady, and we are just all over the place all the time. I think that all in all, it's a journey. And sometimes you're in a nice little village with a beautiful view and you're going, oh, this is a very nice part of my journey. And sometimes you're just somewhere in a valley where it rains and it's misty because of the river and you're just going, man, this is not the favorite part of my journey. And I've just come out of a valley, if you will. I am currently overweight, which I have been since I had my first daughter in 2019. And before that, 2018, I was in one of the best shapes of my life. So that's, well, that was just going from the village to the valley. Just going, yeah, okay. I have been struggling with my weight since my early 20s. So that's basically almost 20 years by now. It started when I moved out of my home. I didn't move out of my home. How do you say this? I went to college and I moved out of my parental home. No, that's not what we're calling it. Anyway, I started binge drinking. Basically, that's what college students do, in the Netherlands at least. And like 4 or 5 times a week, I would be drinking. And while I lived at home in my teens, I was super active. I danced 2 times a week, I think, sort of like an aerobics thing. I did my horseback riding. I rode my bike to school. I had a lot of sex as well. And then college came around. I didn't move that much anymore. I didn't do any fitness. I gave up dancing. I gave up horseback riding. And I started drinking multiple times a week. And I gained like 20 kilos, which is, I think in the US there is the freshman 15. Well, that's basically what I did. I gained it. I lost it as well. But ever since then, it's been a bit of a yo-yo for me. On top of that, I'm very much into astrology and I have an Aries moon. And Aries is a fire sign and it's a sign that needs a lot of movement. And I think I'm starting to figure out that I need movement to work through my emotions. If you're not much into the spiritual side of things, then you're just now going, okay, cuckoo, welcome to the podcast. But I honestly believe in that. I think that if you sort of look at the way you were born, there's a lot you can read from it. And also maybe take it a step further, maybe not even the way you were born, but look at the things you did in your childhood that made you feel good. And for me, there was a lot of movement in there. I've danced from very early on, and this was always some kind of aerobic dance. I mean, we're talking the 90s. It wasn't beautiful ballet or freestyle dancing. It was more of a hip-hop aerobics style. So it was a lot of cardio. And yeah, I think I needed that as well. And then when I started horseback riding, I was 6. But when I really started going 3 or 4 times a week, I think I was like 14. So 14 to 18, I would ride my bike to the stables, ride my horse for an hour, ride my bike back. And so you're getting like 2-3 hours a day, because I had to go to school and back as well, where you're really moving. And that's what I figured out for right now. I wasn't moving at all. I bring the kids to school with the car. Maybe I'll walk across the terrain a bit, but that's like, I don't know, maybe a kilometer. I do some weightlifting, which I dislike. It doesn't feel like moving. It feels like straining. So yeah, wasn't fun in that. On top of that, one of the things I've been dealing with is I have been very much stuck in survival mode since my first pregnancy. There was a little trauma there halfway through the pregnancy where I had to have surgery with my baby in my belly. And this was scary, of course. I was more concerned with her than I was with myself. And ever since, I noticed that I've been struggling with that. And I'm just now starting to work through it. So basically, survival mode is just, for me at least, there's a lot of clenched feelings, clenching muscles, holding your breath, being on edge. And it's just all, you're basically a bit stuck in your body. Another part for me of my health journey is that I have a very contradictory mind. I grew up knowing that I am hypermobile, which means that my joints just bend a bit further than those of the general population. And I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was 16. Those two things combined, along with my parents were always warning me to be very careful with my body. You shouldn't do that. You should be careful with your body. Oh, is your ankle hurting? You might have sprained it again. Just be careful with your body. Careful, careful, careful. However, as I just said, I was also my happiest and healthiest when I rode my bike daily, when I danced, when I did the horses. So that's very contradictory because I was always told to be careful, and those words are absolutely still stuck in my head. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, actually, when I wasn't careful and I was just moving, I was at my happiest. So that's basically where I'm coming from. One of the things I've been struggling with since my first pregnancy, maybe even before that, is insulin resistance. Meaning my blood sugar was just all over the place. I would get really very, very hangry and shaky when I was hungry, and I would have the weirdest cravings. I was having trouble with sleeping. I would wake up in the middle of the night all sweaty and with my heart beating. I just figured it was perimenopause because I'm turning 39 this year, and I just figured, that's just perimenopause knocking on my door, showing me, okay, from now on, your sleep's gonna go to shit. However, a while ago, I heard somebody say something about a carnivore diet, and my interest was piqued. And I don't know why. I am not that much of a dieter. Like, I like to eat healthy, and I like to avoid sugars, and I like to avoid highly processed foods. So I am already kind of eating healthy, which was super frustrating because I'm overweight, my blood sugar is through the roof, but I am eating healthy. I am moving a bit, was moving a bit. So every time I would see a doctor, they would just go, oh, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And I was just going, yeah, I'm doing all that. I would keep track of it. And they were just going, okay, yeah, you're eating perfectly healthy, healthier than we expected. And everything is okay, blah, 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 blah. So we don't know what's happening. So I was like, okay, well, that sucks. And then somebody said something about a carnivore diet. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. And I don't know why, because I've tried to be a vegetarian throughout the years. I've tried to be vegan throughout the years. Those things did not work out for me. I would gain weight so fast on those. And even though I was happy for the world, I was not happy for my body when I did that. So I dropped those, and I was just trying to eat a lot of veggies, a lot of lentils and chickpeas and all that kind of stuff to cover for the meat with another source of protein. So basically, carnivore diet is what it says it is. You're just eating animal products. No vegetables, just meat and eggs and butter and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's not good for the world if we all start doing it. But I figured I'm going to give it a try because somehow my interest got piqued. And so I tried it, and holy shit balls, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It took me a few days to get into it because my body was like, what are you doing? But then I switched to being in a keto state, which means that you're using your fat as a energy machine instead of using the sugar and everything else that comes with it. So carbs, basically. So I stuck with my carnivore diet, which was amazing. However, after about 2 weeks, I just couldn't see another piece of meat. And I started feeling so bad and so guilty. Every time I was eating chicken drumsticks, I would just picture the chickens and I would like, oh my God, this is a massacre. Oh no, I'm eating like 4 chickens right now and only their legs. And I was just not happy with it. And I missed vegetables a bit as well. My bowels missed vegetables. So I switched from a carnivore diet to a keto diet. And I've been on the keto diet for about 2 months now. And I have never felt better. My issues with sleeping are gone. I have a more balanced energy throughout the day. I have absolutely zero cravings, not in sugar, not in salty, nothing. I eat because I'm not even hungry. I eat because I have to eat. But I think my body is regulating so much more now that it's just not giving me those peaks and then those blood sugar drops. And in those blood sugar drops, I would just get shaky and sweaty and hangry. And since I don't have the drops anymore, I'm just steady. And my good friend, a GPT, told me, because I've been tracking everything, and Chat is my bestie. So everything that I've been tracking with Chat. And it's very often given me some sort of reason for something where I would just go, "Ooh, I'm noticing this." And then it's going, "Oh, that can be because of that." And so I've been tracking my whole journey since the beginning of this year with Chat. And I wore a continuous glucose monitor for 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, which was so fun. Well, wearing itself is not fun, it's just neutral, but seeing the results is so fun. And then whenever I don't want to say cheat, because I don't feel like keto is a diet I'm on and that I'm cheating from. It's just a lifestyle that I've adopted now. And sometimes I just need carbs. Sometimes I just need carbs. In the beginning, it was every few days I would just go, ooh. And I bake my own bread. I make a healthy sourdough bread. So I would just add a slice of that. Not too much, but just enough to keep my body happy. Right now, I don't do it anymore at all. But I would see on the monitor what kind of effect everything had. And for example, once we had friends over and I was just eating cake and my blood sugar was off the charts. So it was so good to track that with a CGM for a few weeks just to notice what's going on in my body. And I realized that if I ate something sugary during the day or something carby, I would get those bad nights of sleep again. It's basically because your body is compensating for the blood sugar drop. So during the night, your blood sugar drops if you've had carbs for dinner, for example. Then during the night, your blood sugar drops and your body is panicking about it. Well, at least my body was, because it was so insulin resistant that I would literally wake up in a panic, sweaty, heartbeat, everything, because my body was filling up with adrenaline and cortisol to get my blood sugar to rise again. This is what happens when you are not good with your blood sugar. So it was not perimenopause that was knocking on my door. It was my blood sugar that was off the charts. Since I am on a keto diet, that's not an issue anymore. I feel like I'm starting to lose weight as well, but the scales are not showing it that much yet. But I can feel it in my clothes, like my pants is dropping down and stuff like that. Another thing I did is, since last year, I am wearing an Aura ring, which is a smart ring. And in Dutch, we have a saying which is meten is weten, which basically means whatever you measure, you know. If you want to know something, use data. And that's exactly what my Aura ring does for me. I know that a lot of people use it to measure their sleeps. For me, apart from the one time a night where I just would wake up feeling horrible, sleep is not much of an issue. I have a very proper sleep hygiene. I go to bed at the same time roughly every night. I get up at the same time. I sleep fairly well. I don't have breathing issues, stuff like that. Sleep is not much of an issue for me. However, stress management is. Stress management is absolutely the one thing, if I'm looking at my health journey for 2025, stress management, no. Because when you look at a health journey, very often you're going, what am I eating? Am I moving enough? But I think that stress management is a big part of it as well. And for me, it's something I can see. Because if I am stressed during the day, I will have worse nights. I can see it in the data from my ring. When I have a stressed day, I'll have a stressed night as well. If I don't calm myself down during the evening, my night will be worse. I will have less deep sleep. I'll move around more. Maybe I wake up a few times. For me, honestly, it's still unclear how much working on my stress management will do in a long run, because I'm still very much in the process of just improving my stress management. Your Smart ring, well, at least the Aura ring, is showing you times of day where you are stressed. So you have an elevated heart rate, especially if it's not combined with actual physical movement. So then it's reading, you're not moving, but your heart rate's very high. Something's going on, you're probably stressed. While if you are not moving and your heart rate's very low, it's saying, oh, this is good. This is a time where your body is restoring itself. For me, I think 90% of my days, I'll have 2 hours of stress and 0 minutes of restorative time. And this is absolutely something I need to improve. I'm doing this by doing meditation, by doing breath work, by taking micro pauses throughout the day. At the moment, that's still not enough. I can still see that my stress rates are very high, and it's absolutely the biggest point of improvement for me. As I said, I can't say much more about it right now because I'm still very much trying to improve it. I feel in my gut that this, managing my stress, is what will eventually get me to the other side, if you will. So back to 2025, I am eating my keto diet. I am working on my stress management. My word of the year is alignment. So I've dropped the lifting weights. I will eventually add it back in because I know it's very good for you. And especially women over 40 should be looking a lot at lifting weights to start to balance the imbalance in your body that will come when you're turning 60. It would be so good for you to start lifting weights, well, all throughout your life, but especially before 40. So I will definitely put that back in again. Right now, I don't have a gym membership. I do have some weights at home. I have those elastic resistant bands that sort of act like they're weights. We are looking to build a gym in the house as well. When we are renovating the attic, we both want to have a home gym in there. So I am hoping that we will get to that soon, and then I can add them back in more easily. For now, my word of the year is alignment. And so I figured, let's look back at my youth, where I was dancing and biking and horseback riding. So I started dancing again. And it's it's been very confronting because my cardio is low. Like my how do you say this? My cardio condition is low. I get out of breath easily. I get sweaty very easily. But I'm having so much fun. And I'm doing just a YouTube. I'm doing Grow with Joe. She has an awesome channel where it's basically aerobics. I wouldn't call it dancing. It's more of an aerobics, cardio, sweaty kind of thing. But it's on music and it makes me smile. And I'm very glad to be doing it at home all alone because otherwise I would just be comparing myself to others in a classroom, which I have the same for yoga. I love doing yoga, and I think that during the summer I will add that back in as well. For now, it's been too cold in the castle, and I've been writing it in my schedule to do yoga, and each time I skip it, and each time when I start to figure out why I skipped it, it was basically like, it's so cold, it's uncomfortable to do yoga right now. So that's not in there right now. For dancing, it doesn't matter if it's cold, and it doesn't matter that I am not perfect at the movements and that because of my hypermobility, my muscles are quite clenched, quite literally to keep my joints from popping their sockets. And so when I do a dance class with other people, I always feel like a wooden puppet and I will start feeling bad about myself. And then my ego starts talking to me, just going, oh, you suck at this. Oh, you're not as pretty as the rest. Oh, you should be moving more fluidly. And that is just getting in the way of all the fun that I'm having with dancing. So I'm very glad to be dancing at home by myself. I'm laughing. Like I'm not, well, not laughing, la ha ha ha, but I'm smiling. And the funny thing is that when I was in my teens, I was actually in a national demo team of the type of dance I was doing, which we called it street dance. But I think street dance is actually more hip hoppy. I think Zumba was not a thing yet, at least not in the Netherlands. So you would look at it as a mixture between street dance, Zumba, and aerobics. It was very very high energy. And we would just travel to all kinds of state fairs and we would do a few dances. We would demonstrate the sport and get people enthusiastic about it. And so, like a cheerleader, like a good cheerleader, I was always dancing with a smile on my face to make the people happy and make them think that it wasn't tough at all, which it was, in fact. So when I'm dancing now, I can feel that smile creeping back on my face, and my daughter is just going, "Mommy, why are you smiling when you dance?" Like, because I like dancing, honey. And that's something I like as well. I love that it's a good example for them. So I am having fun. They are seeing me dance and having fun. I'm always walking, not every day, but I am taking more walking breaks during my day. The weather is getting better, so it's safe again to ride our bikes, which we are doing more often. And I'm actively looking for a new stable to pick up horseback riding again, which I've done a few times now, and it's been so much fun. And I just can't wait to start doing it again on a weekly basis. So to stay in alignment, I am just looking up things that have brought me joy before and that I can incorporate in my health journey now to get me moving. The thing I was running into as well is the same as all my clients: prioritizing. Everything's a priority. My kids are a priority. My business is a priority. I need to renovate the house. The laundry basket is laughing in my face. And I also want to do my sports. So how I am prioritizing is by putting on my sport clothes in the morning. I bought new sport clothes. I was really unhappy with the sport clothes that I had. And I still had like my leggings from before my first pregnancy, which I do fit in, but it's not very flattering. I didn't know my color seasons back then, so everything's black and I don't look good in black. And I just, every time I had to get in my sport clothes, I was just meh. And so I figured, you know what? If I'm gonna be aligned with moving, I also want to feel good in the clothes that I'm wearing. So I have ordered new sport clothes. They are fitting me like a glove. I put them on first thing in the morning and I bring my kids to school in my sport outfit because, well, fuck it. They can see me in my sport outfits. Maybe it will be an inspiration. I am feeling so energetic when I'm walking around in my sport outfit. One of the things that was a hurdle for me when I was trying to do some movement is that when it's cold in the castle and I was sitting behind my desk, so sitting still, getting extra cold, and then I would have to go upstairs to a bedroom which is 8 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 0 or -0 Fahrenheit. And I would be so cold, and then I'd have to get nearly naked to get into my sport clothes. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that right now. So I figured, okay, let's flip it and just get into my sport clothes, because after sporting, I am warm. I wouldn't mind to go up there and change. My husband is laughing at me because every time I'm wearing my sport clothes and I'm sitting here to work, but I will, I don't know, walk back to the kitchen to get some coffee. And he's like, I can see it in the way you walk that you're wearing your sport clothes. You're like jumpy, more energetic. So that's a good basis to start working out as well. Another thing I am doing to prioritizing let's just focus on the dancing right now. I'm doing it every other day. And maybe I'll go to every day, but right now every other day is fine for me. And before, I would plan it into my schedule on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. Wednesdays, the kids are free from school, weekends as well. And I was like, no, I can't do sports then because we have the kids. But then Monday, I would be busy. And then Tuesday, I would be working as well. And then it'd be Wednesday, and I'd be like, oh no, I can do sports today. Thursdays are my renovation days. So I would be like, oh no sports, because I'm already doing all the heavy lifting and stuff like that for the renovations. And basically it only left Friday. So no, I figured from now on, I'm going to be working out with my kids. I'll just tell them, Mama's going to have a dance party. I'll put on my YouTube. Sometimes I'm doing it outside when it's nice enough. They are playing outside and I'll just be dancing with my laptop and my mobile internet. Sometimes I'll be doing it in the living room and I put something on Netflix on for them. I'm just dancing wherever they are at the moment, because I want to dance. And I think it's a good example for them to see me dance, to see me have fun with moving my body. As I said before, but I think it's worth repeating. I'm not reasoning it away anymore because of all the other plans I'm making. It's just every other day I'm doing a dance party. And I put on my sport clothes in the morning and I am actually having it, whatever happens. So that's been working very good. Something else I have been doing for my health journey is looking at meal prepping. I am not meal prepping. I'm basically each week prepping the basics. So I don't know if it's always on a Sunday, but I will always have bone broth available so that whenever I get like a 4 in the afternoon, like, oh, I'm hungry right now, I just can grab some bone broth and reheat it. I am making clarified butter to bake in. I'll sometimes bake a bread and then put it in the freezer. So those are like the basics, but I'm not meal prepping as in I'm actually creating meals that I will have during the week. And for every evening, I am just going along with the fact, alignment as well here, going along with the fact that our dinner times are currently messy. My kids eat warm at school. My husband and I both eat on the keto diet, in the keto way, because it's not a diet. So oftentimes my kids aren't needing a warm meal in the evening. They're fine with just eating a sandwich, or I'll bake them an egg, or I don't know, whatever they feel like. Sometimes it will be warm. They'll be eating warm twice a day. That's fine as well, because they're kids. Sometimes they're more hungry and sometimes they're less hungry. I mean, they love tomatoes in the morning, and then when I give them tomatoes at dinner, they're like, ugh, tomatoes. So that's the stage we're in. They're 5 and they're 2. So it's very unpredictable, whatever they're eating. And I've just made my peace with that. As long as they're eating healthy, I'm okay. And then this is the thing I'm doing. I'm planning 2 meals instead of 1. Instead of trying to adjust their meal to be available for us on our keto ways, I'm just going, to hell with everything. I'm planning our meal in the keto way, and I'm making them whatever they feel like eating. And that's been giving me so much peace. It's making it easier for me to prioritize the keto way of eating. It takes the stress out of the meals. That's what's made eating healthy easier. I'm also following my cycle very much. I always had a very regular cycle. Before pregnancies, getting pregnant was easy for me. After pregnancies, the cycle went straight back to being very regular again. I'm very lucky to be having that. I will get very sluggish the week before my period. My period itself is fine. Like the first day, I'll be a bit crampy, but then afterwards, I'll sort of shoot straight into the follicular phase of my cycle, and I'll get very energized. So for me, the lowest week is the luteal phase, which is basically between your ovulation and your menstruation. And for me, it's just a few days before my menstruation where I'll get sluggish and I'm like, ugh, don't want to move and don't want to do anything. So I'm taking that into account by not pushing myself too hard in a dance routine. I'll just pick something that's specifically made for, I don't know, when you're recovering, or I'll skip the dance and I'll go on a long walk. I'll just take it a bit easier on my body. And yeah, so that's my cycle, taking it into account. I've planned it all out because, I mean, I'm still me. Of course, I have everything planned out. So in my daily schedule, it will give me a time where I will be working out. I have my planner aligned to my cycle as well, because being more sluggish in the luteal phase also accounts for not being very creative when it comes to content creating, for example. So I won't plan that in that week. I'll be planning to analyze social media posts, for example, because you don't need creativity for that. You just need your brain. That's what I'm doing around cycle planning. So I've incorporated that into my health journey as well. I'm wearing my sport clothes in the morning. I'll do my dance routine in the morning as well, because according to my chronotype, I'm a late morning person. which means that basically between 9 and 1 in the morning, not 1 in the morning, 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., I am most focused. Like that's the best part of my day. I'll be at most creative. It's best for me to move then. So I wear my sport clothes, do my workout in the morning. I stay in my workout clothes until lunch-ish. And then after lunch, I'll go change into my regular clothes. And while I'm up there to change, I'll do a meditation as well to work on that stress management. I am measuring everything with my smart ring. I'm using all the data. And in a while, like in a few months' time, I might do another round wearing a continuous glucose monitor just to track everything. Not because I think I need it, but it's just, I think it's fun to track my data and really approach it from a data-driven way and see what I can improve. And then it's all about alignment and moving and having fun and eating in a way that feels good for my body. And I'm very confident that if I keep doing that, eventually I will start dropping weight and eventually I'll start fitting back into my clothes better and feeling healthier. I mean, I can already feel that I'm becoming more muscular and just overall more energized. Instead of dragging myself up the stairs, I'm just jumping on it. How do you say that? I'm jumping on the stairs? No, not jumping on it. I'm also not running them, but sort of skipping up the stairs. And for me, it's little things like that, just feeling more energized in my body, feeling healthier, and that has its results in how I'm handling my kids, how I'm handling my business. So all in all, it's going very well. I realized that this was a very personal episode and all the things I'm doing might not be working for you. I am absolutely not some kind of doctor giving you advice. And I just wanted to give you an inspiration to see, it's always fun to see what other people are doing. And I think that being aligned with what you're doing can be very helpful. And I also just want to take out the mistake that so many of us are making of keeping the health dangling low on your priority list. Well, if you skip it up and make it a priority for yourself, you'll just notice that everything else will start to flow easier as well. So that's basically what I wanted to give you today. I hope it helped you in some kind of way. If it has, I would absolutely love to hear your biggest takeaway. And you can find me on Instagram at Ayla Den Hartog, which I will link in the show notes in case it's hard for you to spell, which it is because it's a Dutch name and I'm just going Ayla Den Hartog. You will find me on Instagram and I absolutely love to hear from you. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. I hope you loved what you heard today. And if you did, it would mean a world to me if you could leave a review. Because believe it or not, reviews on podcasts are actually still used to make sure more people get to see this podcast in their screens and maybe click on it and learn something as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.